We all remember his face, right? Jacob Chansley, y'all, one of the actual faces of the Capitol, who, when Tucker Carlson was unraveling the informative information, y'all, it turns to find out that he was really peaceful, praying with people and doing a lot of other stuff. I even tried to do a reaction to a video that I seen of him, having a phone conversation, and YouTube was like, just right. Video couldn't even be put up. So Trump takes office, y'all, and he signs over pardons, and he is yet another one who has been pardoned. And the thing about this, y'all, is we actually about to get down to the bottom of it, and that's the truth. Okay, we've already seen so many other January 6th coming out and interviewing and telling their side of the story, y'all. It is only the beginning. And that was another reason why they were trying to keep Trump out of office, because they already knew what was about to explode right in their faces. So with that being said, y'all, we finna dive into it. This is coming straight from C Night News. So yeah, let's dive into the video, y'all, and then we gonna chop it up towards the end. Let's get it.
Jake, you pleaded guilty.
I pleaded guilty. So is this how we do things in England? I say, yes, yes. You can't see, the forest for the trees, my dear.
Shoot.
Why did you plead guilty then? First, I've been speaking to one of those who has been pardoned, Jacob Chansley, known to many online as QAnon Shaman. He faced federal charges of knowingly entering or remaining in any restricted building or grounds without lawful authority, and with violent entry and disorderly conduct on the Capitol grounds. He pleaded guilty to unlawfully obstructing the certification of the 2020 presidential election. He served 41 months in jail and was released early. I asked him about that day.
If you mean like law that I broke, I entered the building illegally. If you mean like stopping people from stealing, volunteering to help the police, saying a prayer inside the Senate, singing my shamanic song inside the Senate, stopping people from breaking in once outside the building, and literally like facing an angry mob all by myself, telling everybody they're not going to break in, that also happened that day. It really all depends on what you mean by what I by your question.
Well, how you remember it?
Well, I remember it being a lot different than the mockingbirds in the media have spun it, that's for sure. The chaos and the violence that took place outside the building.
Okay, y'all, for YouTube purposes, I'm going to just fast forward this.
They think that the whole thing has just been mischaracterized in so many ways, that myself included. I mean, people think I'm an insurrectionist or a Republican. I'm a libertarian. There's so much distortion because of the media. One of the things I like to say is you don't realize how distorted the media lens actually is until you see your own reflection in it.
Well, now is your chance to be absolutely clear about this. Are you saying you did not go into that building to try to stop the certification of the accurate 2020 US presidential election result?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I did not go into the building for that reason. And the fact that you still think that I did just shows how distorted the media lens actually is.
On that point,
because that's
Jake,
never my intention.
Jake,
that's never been my intention.
I'm just literally looking at what you pleaded guilty to. That's what I'm going from. You pleaded guilty to unlawfully obstructing an official proceeding, i.e.
the certification. The Supreme Court say that? But didn't the Supreme Court just say that that is not a practical application of the law whatsoever, and that the government was bending the law to gain convictions out of people?
Give us your reaction to being pardoned for that day by President Trump.
It feels just like it should.
Go on.
I think that pretty much says it all.
Look.
Describe your emotions when you heard.
I think I got the news from my lawyer when I was at the gym, and I walked outside and I screamed freedom at the top of my lungs and then gave a good Native American war cry. And
did you expect him to follow through on what he has promised on a number of occasions through the campaign trail?
I expect Donald Trump to be a man of his word like he has been for decades. And that is a track record that we don't have with pretty much any politician in D.C. for the most part. Very few have that kind of a record of saying the same things and doing the same things, which are pro-American, for over 30 years.
Come on.
You wrote on X, after you'd heard the news, thank you, President Trump. I'm going to buy some mother effing guns. Because presumably now your record has been wiped clean, you are allowed to buy guns again. Is that what you're going to do? Have you gone out and bought them already?
Oh, yeah. Well, I want you to think about something. The mockingbirds in the media and the government demonized me. They made me social pariah. They attached things like QAnon, conspiracy theorist, white supremacist, insurrectionist, racist, homophobe, terrorist. They attached all those labels.
You got to think, y'all, these people, like he said, the media has already tarnished their names and made these people look like monsters. So they not only have to endure the traumatizing events that happen of them, you know, getting locked up, but they also have to walk around with this tied to them. You get what I'm saying? So they most definitely are going to have to be protected as well, because y'all see it. Some people are stuck in their ways. They do not care. They're going to look at that and say, oh, you did it, this, that, and the other. And they're going to stick to it. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, they have to be protected now because they've had this and it's been shown for so many and said so many ways in their pictures. Yes, you have to be able to protect yourself out here because now the media has put, you know, pretty much they didn't stamp your name as not being good. So, yeah.
To my image, and then they imprisoned me for 27 months, 10 and a half behind, in solitary confinement. And then they released me to the public as social pariah without the ability to own a firearm. So I can never really actually bring in a gun to a gunfight. I always have to bring a knife to a gunfight. And you do realize how wrong that is, right?
Jake, you pleaded guilty.
If she say that one more time.
I pleaded guilty. So is this how we do things in England? I say, yes, you can't see, you know, the forest for the trees, my dear.
Facts.
Why did you plead guilty then?
Have you ever been in solitary confinement before?
Tell me why you pled guilty.
No, answer his question.
I'm asking you the question, dear. Have you ever been in solitary confinement? The answer is no. Have you ever had the media and the government simultaneously mischaracterizing your involvement in some sort of a politicized travesty that is being used to actually circumvent the law and certify an election that in every way, shape, and form has all the hallmarks of a regime change and corruption? I mean, you've never been in my shoes. You don't want to be in my shoes. You're too afraid to be in my shoes. That's why you're behind the camera that you're behind, and I'm behind the one that I'm behind.
And that's why I'm asking you to give me an insight into why you pleaded guilty.
And he's telling you wouldn't understand.
I just gave it to you. But like I said, you can't see the forest for the trees, my dear.
Right.
Explain it to me. Go on.
No.
Thank you.
I am in no way, shape, or form obligated to explain anything to you, especially now.
What do you mean, especially now? Because you're a free man and you've been part. Well, you were released a little while ago.
Not just that. I've been vindicated more than once, dear. And the BBC has its reputation in the gutter. You guys covered up Jimmy Savile for years. You covered up the rape gangs for years. You guys got the Dorian Gray image right in front of you. You got your own painting right in front of you. I mean, it's.
Elon Musk was talking about this media. Okay, now it makes sense, y'all. I learn something every day. Let's get it. Okay.
No offense, it's what you guys deserve as an institution. I don't know if you're one of the people that covered this stuff up, but I mean, you guys, you all know what you did over the last several decades. You know who you've been protecting.
I've spent years covering abuse of young women and young men as it happens. But anyway, not long after you...
I'm glad to hear that. Did you cover the rape gangs or did you help cover that up? Did you cover Jimmy Savile while he was doing all that stuff to those children with special needs?
Jay,
or did you cover the fact that Prince Andrew went to Epstein Island?
Not long after you were jailed, you said... You regretted what you...
No. When the heat get on you, no, don't change the subject because he was being here kosher and cool and stuff like that. And you kept hitting him because even I got irritated with, why did you say you were guilty and all this other type of stuff? Then he finna flip the thing around on you and now you want to get back to the, no, baby. Answer the question. Let's get it.
You did. That you were wrong for entering the Capitol building. And then when you got out of jail, it sounded like you weren't remorseful or regretful anymore. Where do you stand now?
holding on to regret or hatred or anger or depression is bad spiritual hygiene. I regret nothing. Understand?
Would you do the same again?
Because I'm a better man because of what I went through. Do you regret things that are hard that you go through but make you a better human being? No, because they made you a better human being. And in all honesty, if you think of my lack of presence there on January 6th, then what you'll find is that January 6th narrative no longer has an Achilles.
Hang on, due to YouTube
They
purposes.
lied. They lied in mass to billions of people, and then it came back to bite them in the ass.
What did they lie about, and how's it come back to bite them in the ass?
If you can't read the writing on the wall, dear, there's nothing I can do to help you.
Jake, I'm asking you.
Come on.
Oh, and I'm telling you. Can you dig what I'm saying? You can't figure this out on your own. There's nothing I can do to help you, dear.
Donald Trump.
Because I can't. There's nothing I'll be able to say to you. Do you understand? Like you can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink. You can lead a person to knowledge, but you can't make him think. I'm leading you to the knowledge, but I mean, it's up to you to think about it.
Right. Read between the lines.
Donald Trump called you, all those who were convicted after January the 6th, called you unbelievable patriots. I wonder if you also support the pardoning of those who were convicted alongside you, but who attacked police officers, for example.
Well, if they served their time, if they were in prison at the time, then they did their time. They did their sentence. I leave it to the president's discretion. In all honesty, he's the one that has the Department of Justice and the files at his disposal. He's the one that has the large legal team. I don't have any of that stuff. I trust his judgment way more than I trust the judgment of people like Merrick Garland or Joe Biden.
I wonder what you would think if people had tried to stop the certification of Trump's win this time around.
I didn't try to stop the certification. That's the thing you people just don't seem to understand.
I wasn't necessarily saying you did.
Stopping the certification.
I wasn't necessarily saying you did. I was just asking a broader question.
But stopping the certification was not in the best interest of any Trump supporter. We wanted there to be a debate. It was in the best interest of the deep state. That's why I believe they staged the whole thing to begin with.
What would you?
In all honesty, that's about all the time I have.
I know that's right.
So I'm
would you do it again?
Go.
Would you do it again, Jake?
What kind of question is that? Do you mean like if I had the knowledge that I have now, would I go back and do the whole thing all over again? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yes? Is that it?
Yes.
If I had the knowledge I have now and I could go back, I would try to stop the whole thing from happening. I'd go down to the Capitol before Trump was even on frickin' stage, and I would hold sacred space. I would say a prayer. I would get everybody focused on God and God alone and not easily provoked.
Thank you very much for talking to Newsnight, Jake. We appreciate your time.
God bless.
Well, y'all, now I figured out what news this was, because I remember Elon saying that also getting in they tell about a lot of stuff. Now, let me tell y'all something. If y'all ain't noticed through each interview, in some shape or form, it brought them closer to God. But that question has been asked to every last one of them. If you could go back, would you do it again? And each and every one of them said yes, that they don't regret anything. That if they could go back and do that again, they would. You know what I'm saying? So you got to sit here and think about it. And they're all telling the stories like, some people, again, said, hey, I'm guilty. And they're explaining the reason why they chose to go that way. Because I'm telling you. And then not only that, being confined in that jail space and stuff with, like Isaac explained, just this much, where you get your breakfast and lunch and stuff, and you in there for 24 hours, you only get an hour a day out, and these are happening to some people who are actually innocent. Y'all, I'm just really glad that Trump did what he said he was going to do. He said on day one he was going to be signing a lot of forms and stuff like that, and he's been doing that. But not only that, since their release, y'all, you already know that the interviews are about to happen. This is the thing. We're about to get their sides. The voices that have been silent for months, some of them for 2 years, some of them for 3, some of them for 4. Like, it's all about to unravel. And this is another reason why they didn't want this man to get in office, because he's about to expose all the mess and the dirtiness that has been happening for the past 4 years. Okay. And we sitting here, you pardoning the son and all these other people who are actually committing these crimes. Y'all, it's a beautiful day. A beautiful year. This is only the beginning. And we all know him quite well because he was the main face of the event. And again, when Tucker Carlson got that information and started to unravel what was really going on, that's when they like, you got to go. And he, created his own show or whatnot, which is doing very, very well. But I'm saying a lot of us knew. Now, I'm still on this journey and stuff. So I was coming in towards the end of this and learning about what was going on, because I told you it was a video of him actually talking on the phone, telling his side, and that video could not get put up. You could do like, nope. That's why you see me kind of fast forward those, sorry, because it's certain things that you can do on here and it's certain things that you cannot do. So appreciate y'all for tuning in. Let's chop it up in the comment section, y'all. What are y'all thoughts? Let's talk. I just know there's going to be a lot more interviews coming out, and I'm just looking at this one right here. Like, y'all, we about to get the truth and nothing but the truth.